Hello, people of the internet. Today is Sunday, so it was supposed to be my day off, but I was bored and I was curious about this issue that we discovered last week. So we will take a look at it. Basically, what the problem is. When we try to migrate smaller projects to Pulp, we had no issues. But when we tried to migrate a project that had several larger RPM files, we are talking like 100 megabytes and more, then Pulp timeouted and we got this ugly traceback, and as the title of the issue suggests, the request wasn't retried or anything or handled in any way, we just bombed out. So we need to fix that. After talking with Dennis from the Pulp team, we found out that larger uploads basically needs to be done through this special API called chunked uploads, and maybe they can tune the timeout values for us so that we don't fail on 100 megabytes, but maybe only after 500 megabytes or whatever. But eventually, at some size, we will fail if we don't use the chunked uploads API. So I think we can take a look at it. My idea was that we would maybe download the problematic source RPM or RPM and try it locally. Okay. Anyway, we should. You know what? We probably don't need actually to download the 100 megabyte source RPM, because we can pretty fine chunk a small one. So let's do that. Okay, this is our copper repository. We are at some hit counter branch. That is a feature I worked on Friday. What do we have here? Oh yes, this was just some hacks so I can test the feature locally. So stash that. This is probably something generated by tests, so we can clean it up. Okay, we have empty tree. If we check out main and rebase the branch, do we have any new changes? Oh yes, we have. Okay, let's check out a new branch, which would be called Pulp chunked uploads. Okay, now let me show you where the code is. Okay, so this is image builder and something you probably shouldn't see because it is from an internal repository, but looking at it, there is nothing. Okay, there is nothing private actually, so okay, we don't need to censor the video. Let's find the copper project and probably storage.py. Now, if we search for Pulp storage, we should have some function that uploads RPM. Okay. So this takes a path and it creates content from that path. Okay, seems straightforward. And if we take a look at it in more detail, it just opens the file, then it sends the file to Pulp. That's it. So we have this, and we still want to use this. I mean, we will probably use the upload RPM as is. We will just implement a new function next to this function, like create content batched or something like that. Chunked, not batched. Create content chunked. And this function will decide upon the size of the file if it wants to use the chunked one or the normal one, because there are downsides to using the chunked uploads and we don't want to use them for small files. Okay, so let's try. So if we create content chunked function with the same parameters as the previous one, and we return none, just so we don't have any errors in the LSP. Now we probably need to I briefly took a look at the documentation, and basically what they want us to do is send a post request here, which will specify the size of the file. Then they will return us a special URL that we will then use to send the chunks to. And once it's done, we will send a final post request to complete the upload. So this is all fine and good, but we still need to chunk the file, and we don't probably want to use this because we don't want to call a external command. So I'll probably need to have some function that chunks the file, like reads the file as chunks. So I think we can use something like this. So let's try. Let's rename this with underscore, so nobody calls this outside of the class, and it will be read chunks path size. Okay, size is good. We will figure out the value later. Now open this. We want to open this though as read only and binary, and while content equals read yield content. This looks promising. Now we should be able to basically do something like foo equals x for x in self read chunks on a path size equals let's use the same value that is there. It's the same, yeah, it's the same number, but we will then adjust it. So we should be able to do this, right? And it should give us a list of the chunks. Now, let's jump back to the storage class and upload RPM. This is what we want to call every time, right? It's uploading RPM either way. It can be chunked, it can be not chunked, but it's uploading a single RPM. So we don't want to re-implement this. We just want to distinguish here which function should be used. And for the time being, because we want to test the or implement and test the chunked one, we will do just if, for example, true, or maybe if false, then call the normal one, else call the chunked one. Oops, chunked. So then we every time call the chunked one now. So we should get into the debugger. Okay. Now this function, upload RPM, will be called at the end of every build, because at the end of every build we have just built the RPMs and we want to upload them to Pulp. So our reproducer needs to be related to builds, not actions. So we will find some build. We'll find some build in a Pulp project. We should probably log in first. So do we have some, or do we have to create a new project? I think this should have some builds, right? Yeah. So can we simply run this build again and debug on that? If we jump to our backend build dispatcher, we kill this, and we should have some, yeah, in history. So we have this command to run a single build. So we will do just that. The chroot is Fedora 42 and the build ID is this one. So if we run this, it should hopefully succeed the build, and then in the final stages of the build, when it tries to upload, it should stop in the debugger. And it didn't stop, so why? Oh, okay, it failed on our traceback. That's fine. So what's the problem? Read chunks got multiple values for argument size. Isn't that strange? Because we don't have the self here. That makes sense. Okay, run again. Okay, and we are in the debugger. So if we print foo, we have the content. If we print len foo, it's 11 chunks. Okay, and if we go, for example, x for x in foo, but we print what? Length? Yep. See, perfect. So it was chunks of this size that we wanted, and the remaining. No traceback, no handling of the final size or anything like that. So this looks perfect. I think we can work with that. So let's keep the read chunks function as is, and let's continue the implementation here. So what the documentation says, we should be posting a request to here. So this is Pulp API v3 uploads. This is a different one. Okay. Okay, so what if we then let's rename this to chunks. We will probably use something slightly different, but good for now. So what the path was, I think the API is the API as here. So I think the path should be just API v3 uploads. v3 uploads like this. Then we send a post request onto that. So we want something like this, but we don't want to return it. We will send a post request onto that URL or endpoint, and we want to pass some data, right? And the data will be the size. We will do this multi-line, so it is the same as everywhere else. Because if you take a look at every other function, it always starts with the URI and then data and so on. So URI, data, the field should be size, and here we need to pass the size of the file, which strangely I'm not sure the function of. So Python get file size. There is no documentation. Okay, so we can get size. Yep, this looks good. So OS path get size path, and we have the breakpoint here. So maybe not run the whole command again, because that would take some time. We can try to copy paste this into the debugger to see. Okay, so our response has some JSON as expected, and what should be inside? So it returns an upload ref or href. So it returns some. Yep, this looks like it, because it's uploads slash some hash. Uploads slash and some hash. So we need to take a Pulp href value, and we will use that further. So this will be, how do they call this? They call this an upload href. So upload href will be this. Now we are supposed to send the chunks, can be uploaded in any order, on or in parallel. We don't want any of those. We want just what we did right here, from the start to the end. So this needs to be a put request onto that URL. I have no clue what this is though. Oh, this is this just the file name produced by the split by this, possibly? So let's think of this as the file name, and this is going to be this is a different syntax than here. So I suppose this is, or maybe this is not the file path but the body. I don't really know. I don't really know. So what do we do about that? Well, we definitely need to send we definitely need to go over every chunk. So let's do this, and for chunk in chunks we will send a request. So it will be something like this. It was supposed to be a put request onto that upload href and data. Yeah, well, that's the question. So what will be our data? Something. Our data needs to be something. And then finally we are supposed to, this is an optional one, all chunks uploaded, final post with the file SHA can be sent to complete the upload. I don't want any SHAs, do I? So yeah, this is the same URL that we had before, it just has /commit now. Okay, so if we do this, is it a post or put? It's post now. So it's post now onto that upload href. Let's do commit href and no data, and commit href will be something like 0/1, and the first part will be upload href, but after that there is this commit. Now we send the response and have the breakpoint here. Hopefully this will be a successful one, because I don't know what about the SHA, because here they say send an optional SHA argument, and here they say final post with the SHA. So I don't know, is it optional only here or in both of the situations? But we can figure out the SHA if we need to, though. I'm still confused about this little part, though. So let's maybe try to Google what's this. Yeah, it's a header. Yeah, I expected that. So we need to specify the headers. Where is it? Here. I'm not sure about this, about all the syntax. Do we need to figure it out or not? Python requests headers this. Is it somehow implemented in requests already or not? Sure. Okay, they do something like this. Is it the same syntax? It's not, because there is a byte space and the person did bytes equals. But it seems they basically specify the syntax manually. So let's do basically the same. So we don't have to, we will have some data though. Headers will be let's fix the formatting because it pisses me off. Okay, so this is content range. So we'll have content range, and it will be bytes, but there is a space, and now the range, but there is a slash and asterisk. Now we need to figure out these two values, right? Format. This is getting a bit complicated. So we need to figure out the numbers there. So I think we can define size here as this and do size equals size. Now we can enumerate this and read I and chunk, and here we probably can do some math, right? But the fun part is I'm dumb at math, so well, maybe we are doomed. So we need to start at the zero, basically 0 up to size. So if we do basically I times size, this will be a 0 for the first run, up to I, maybe I plus 1 times size. This will be 1 times size. For the first one, for the first run. So that would be the correct value. Then we need to go second run, which is going to be 1 times and 3 times. Yeah, I think this looks good to me. I don't want to think about it too long. Let's just run it and see. I think there will be some problem with the boundaries because there will be some +1 indexes or -1 here. I don't know. Let's just see. Maybe we should probably do something like this so we can easily debug the thing. The good thing about this is that when we upload the RPM, we definitely can know if it's correct or not, because we can download it and install it, basically. If we can't install it, then there is some problem with the math and we need to fix it. But once we are able to install it, maybe even like get the SHA of the file before and SHA of the file after, it should be the same. So we can be 100% sure the file is correct. So we don't have to write a proof, for example, that this works. So where are we? We are after the headers right now. So now we were planning to send the response, and this is a problem. Why? 404 response. Now I'm very much confused. I'm doing this. Oh, this sends request errors. Okay. Oh, okay. That's why we don't have the... So why is this a problem? This is probably exactly the upload upload href, right? There is this pulp /pulp. and that's possibly a problem. Interesting that we have it here, because we work with hrefs regularly, and it's always URI equals href plus something. Get by href, this... Oh, get by href. Okay. So when we do get by href, we basically do this. So maybe let's do the exactly same thing. There is this upload href, and we will do upload URL, which is going to be self-config base URL plus upload href. Now maybe we will have more luck, and we can also here upload URL, and we can probably test that straight away. So upload. So we can probably my hands are somehow so clumsy today. So upload URL. What's this? Upload URL. Looks like the correct value. We don't have the pulp twice there. Now we can probably test this again, and it's 400. So that's a new one, though we probably fixed the issue that we had, because it at least returns something. What if we try to accept exception? Don't worry, this is not something I want to put into the code. Actually, I just want to have the debugger here and see the exception details. Good. So we already got the 400, so I expect us to be here. 388. So this is, yep. So if ppx, we have the exception, and I think there should be response. Yes. And if we do this, oh, no data provided. Good. That was very helpful error message, because our data is none. Duh. And now let's take a look back at the documentation. I mean, the data, when creating content, the data is this and files is this. I think we actually need to send... We cannot do the files one because reasons, probably. We have the chunk of the data. I think we need to send it. So my expectation is that the data is going to be what? The data is going to be the chunk itself. Is it possible it's going to be this? And now if we quit several times and run again, that would be, if it was the chunk itself, that would be pretty good. The iteration time for testing it's quite short if I'm doing this alone, but on a recording, this like 1 minute of waiting is quite boring, right? Anyway, 388 is what? Is this? We are in the exception somehow, but the response here, oh, okay. ppx object of type bytes is not JSON serializable. So does this need to be encoded, decoded, or whatever is the correct name for this? We can try that. Encode UTF-8 like this. Is it possible? Is it stupid? I am not sure. Although it was the first thing that came to my mind, so let's try it. By the way, what do we have here? Yeah, we send it like this. If we take a look at the send function, it's method, URL, data, and files. Okay. Okay. Here. So yeah, I always mess up those. So not encode, but decode. Strange that LSP recommended the encode one to me. But I always mess up those. Always. I just stop bothering trying to remember which is which. I want to put data equals data here to be explicit. Okay, so this doesn't look good. Can decode, yeah, yep. So what's the... Oh, I think this is the problem. This is the problem. I probably understand now. Because the example splits it into chunks, and it has existing chunks as files. So this probably is the file name, and it just sends it as a file, not data. That means we probably need to do the same and send it as not data but files equals, and the file to the chunk. But it should be possible to send a chunked already chunk of a memory as a data. It needs to be possible. In Python requests, how do I send a variable as a file? So files, open a file. Yeah, this is standard one. But if you have string or bytes, not a physical file, that's our case because we chunked it. Then what? Then they say files is dict. How our files look in other circumstances. Oh, okay. So we do the same. So we can try to do the same here. We'll have files, and we will send files equals files, and we'll have this one file. But instead of FP, I think we have bytes at the moment. So can we do IO? We don't have problem IO imported. Import IO. Is it bytes IO? And our data, which is going to be our chunk. And we don't need this data. So our chunk and text plain. I don't want text plain. I don't want text plain. I have bytes. Okay, so we are still talking about, yeah, it's bytes IO. That's what I expected. And there is image PNG. Can I have? Can the content type be just bytes? I know. I just, if you don't know or don't care about the exact type, the standard catch-all is. Okay, so we can try this one. Where is the code that I'm interested in? Yeah, oh yes. So it's, yeah, by the way, the file was supposed to be a tuple. Maybe let's do the new lines here so it's less confusing. So it was supposed to be a tuple where the second argument is actually the bytes IO. Now the file name. So let's say chunk dot, I don't know, something, chunk dot foo, and here was supposed to be the mime. Is it mime type? So like this. Let's consult the Pulp documentation again. They use file names like chunk1, chunk2, and so on. We can do that too. So we can do chunk 0 format I. I know that f strings exists. Thank you very much. I just don't like looking at them. So we have the files and we send the files. Is this reasonable? Do they specify any content type? They don't. Okay. Okay. Let's try what we have. Good. We are in the debugger, but I already see some 400 ppx response JSON invalid or missing content range header. So if we do response request headers and we pp'd them, why are they not prettily printed? Either way, so user agent encoding, whatever this means, connection, content length. This is it, or not. The strange thing is content range. Okay, it seems then we didn't send the content range header at all. Obviously, because we defined the dict, but we didn't use the dict. We add the dict here in this situation. So we have this self-send function, but it doesn't take any headers. We will probably need to adjust that. If we search for headers anywhere in the code, there is none. So we unfortunately need to do that. Need to implement the support for that. So headers, headers is none. I cannot type today, don't know why. So headers, none. Can we simply headers equals headers? Will this replace all of these, or it will just add to them? Not sure, we will see. So let's kill this and run again. And this won't help because we didn't use our headers dict. So now we need to headers equals headers. And we can kill this probably and run again. And I hope I didn't mess up now. I hope we will get the builder instance again, that I didn't break it. So fingers crossed right now. Ah, good. So 400 still. If we do again the same thing, x response JSON, sure, request headers. Looks like we didn't send them again. What's our headers here? This looks reasonable. They just wasn't passed again. This is weird. So we defined our headers. If I print them, which I did, they are correct. Then we try to send this response with headers equals headers. If I jump to the send function, it takes headers and yeah. So, okay, so there are two, this is weird. So, no, this is not weird. This is not weird. We do request equals save request and then request send. Now, which of those takes headers? So if we go to save request, headers, send requests, it doesn't at all uses the headers. Oh, this is stupid. Also, we are not, see the percent sign, we are not inside of the Git repository right now because GD from here jumped into the installed package, not the one in the repository. So we need request.py. Request.py that is inside of Copper Common and headers. So, or maybe, okay, let's take a look again. So this eventually gets called. That's for sure. So it defines user agent as some hour of, yeah, see Copper Common. So we definitely are here. If not files, then it's JSON. Okay. And then we try and we construct the request arguments. And we put headers, which is this headers, inside of it. And that's it. So we should probably, it doesn't, how requests update cover args. So what does this mean? If this has headers, okay, let's take a look here. That would be probably better if we okay, there will be probably multiple requests that we don't care about pp URL. We don't care about this one. pp URL. We don't care about this one. pp URL. Still don't care about this one. Okay. Shortly after this, we should be in our chunked upload function, and we should take a look at the headers. So pp URL. Okay, this is the initial one, and now this is the one we care about. So if we print cover args, we have headers that we want to specify. If we take a look at pp request args, it's empty. It's empty. Now, when we do this, what happens? Rec args. Okay, so we have this. We have the headers here. So this is request. Okay, if we go here, okay. We do headers equals headers. We are here, and maybe this is what fucks it up. So we have this, which is exactly what we want, and then we do this. And then we print the request args. Yep. And it's gone. Okay. Okay. So what we can do is basically, I don't know if it's the best solution or not, but we can probably start with headers, that is going to be cover args get headers, or the default value, which is going to be an empty dict. Now we have our headers. Now we can probably change this and put this inside equals, so we can do user agent like we did before and what we did before. And now I think it will work. So let's remove the breakpoint so it's not that slow to get here, and let's try again. And we can open the pulp on the left side. And where do we have our breakpoint? Our breakpoint is still in the exception. Okay. And after the commit. Okay. So let's see what happens. Okay, this looks like an error. Non-type object does not support. Okay. Okay, because sometimes we send none, basically. Therefore, we basically want this returns none, which is equals to when I want to show you, because I don't know if you know what I mean. See, here we have the none as a default value, and we want none there, we don't want it there. So it means we sometimes send none here, and therefore we can have a situation where this is passed, so it returns the value, but the value is none. So if it's not passed, then use the same value, which is none. So we can be sure that we have either a value or none after this. So we can do this and the empty dict here. This will be better. Oopsie daisy. What's wrong? No. No. What? So breakpoint here. I am such a stupid face. Of course, the none was correct here. I got myself confused. It needs to be here. Absolutely. Okay, so it's still 400. So what's going on? ppx response JSON. Chunk size does not match the content range. So we moved forward. Okay. So what is our X response request, and what does our header say? So content range. So we have these bytes, but it doesn't match. So yeah, that is going to be the problem with our math. That's perfect. That was the one place I didn't want any problems, because that's the one place I have no clue how to fix. Okay. So we can probably close this file, because we already sent the headers and there is nothing else to figure out. Pulp.py, I want it here, and here we had this storage. Good. Now chunk with find chunks. Okay, so my assumption is it's not 10,000 but 9,999. So what if we try to do -1 here? No, -1 here. I have no clue if this helps or not. And we can probably just take this and try the response again. Still, the problem is I don't know if we have the exception right now or not. X response request. What the fuck? ppx request response request headers. Yeah, we don't have the correct exception, so we cannot test it like this. We need to run every time. Okay. So we are over 1 hour right now. I'm going to give this maybe another 10 minutes, and if not fixed, I will stop the recording because I am always aiming for 1 hour or so. So potentially we will fix this or finish this in another video, or maybe I will fix this after lunch or something. We will see. Okay, this is interesting though. This is interesting though, because all of those worked. So only the last one failed. And that is because in the last one, we probably cannot do the -1, and that's it. Okay. So let's take a look. ppx response JSON, sure. And if we do response request headers, there's this content range. Yes, because it's the size. And we cannot do the size because the last chunk doesn't have the size. The last chunk has the whatever is remaining. So we need to use not the size here, but we need to find out the actual size. And can the actual size be simply a length of the chunk? If we do len chunk and len chunk, what happens? Okay. This is sad. Oh, this is not sad. This is really fucking good right now. Guys, we did it. So we are failing at the commit phase. which is right after this. This is here. So I think we can maybe get rid of the except that we don't like and do this and get rid of the data. Now the size is used only here, so we can not define it in the first place. Then 1000. Yeah, we need to, by the way, figure out the correct size, but that's something for later. Now there is too much math here inside of the formatting. I don't like that at all, so it will be a start and end. So we have this, which is start, yep, and this like this is going to be the end. Should there be a probably? Okay. Is it too complicated? Probably not, right? Because we need the brackets, because we first need to do the plus operation before the times operation, but we want to -1 only after the everything else is done. So yeah, I think the math looks good. This looks good. We should put a comma here in case another line is going to be added. And we can use the pass. So our loop is fine. Now, what's the problem with this? So let's do the same trick. Let's do except x, except exception as x, and put a pass here and breakpoint, and run again. Okay, so we are inside of that. Where are we? 394, which is this. So ppx, it's 404. That's probably the easiest to fix. So is it simply a trailing slash? No, it is not. Is it wrong URL? Yep, it's the wrong URL. It's pulp/pulp. So we cannot do it like this. How did we figure out the commit href? So we have the commit href, which is upload href/commit. So we can probably do commit URL and use upload URL and simply put commit there and use commit URL, right? Now we can probably kill this again, and run this again. This looks very promising though. Okay, still 404, what was our URL? So commit URL. There is a double, okay, there is a double slash at the end. So now I'm thinking, could we be safe and do the same trick that we did here? So what if we instead use commit URL, which is going to be base URL plus upload href plus upload. How does upload href look like? It has a slash at the end, so commit here. Is this what something that is going to work? Let's try. I should have probably just copy pasted this into the not breakpoint, into the interpreter, and then paste this into the interpreter, but too late now. Let's wait and see. .405 for a change. So ppx method not allowed. Weird. So by the way, we got redirected. So maybe it would be a good idea to put this here. But 405. So if we do x response, let's try to see the JSON method get not allowed. How is it possible? Was the get put there because of the redirect? Because we are clearly sending post here. So let's try to run this again, but with the trailing slash. Alternatively, it is possible that the send function or the request.py that is called within that somehow messes up and sends get because we don't send any data or something like that. So it's 400 now. Okay, so this is a change again. ppx response JSON, no data provided. Should we send data though? Maybe we should, because the documentation says the request with the file SHA can be sent to, so we need to send the SHA. So post SHA, so it expects data equals SHA, which is going to be something, and data equals data. Now we need to figure out the SHA. So I don't do this very often, so I don't remember, but Python get file SHA 256. get a, yep, this is probably what we need. Contents of the file into this. I don't like this very much. Really? We need to read the whole file to get a SHA. That doesn't seem to be very correct to me. Okay, let's try this guy. How can I figure out 5 SHA-256 for a file in Python? Do I really need to read the whole file? Yes. Okay. For some reason, I expected something else. I don't know. Embarrassing, probably. Either way, it's not that of a big deal because I'll show you. We already read the chunks, so we don't need to do any complicated magic. We can probably just do this, and then whenever we read the chunk, we can update the chunk. We even have the same variable name. That's crazy, right? So we update the chunk, and this gets us the value like this, comma at the end. Okay, kill this, and this, and this, and this, and run again, and we will see. Okay, and we have 200, and we are at a breakpoint which is 405, which is this one. So we did it. We actually did it. So what do we have in our response? JSON, and we have the task. Good, because as Dennis said, chunked uploads create tasks. So we create that task, and now we need to wait until the task is finished. That is the disadvantage of using chunked uploads, and that's why we don't want to use them for small files, because with the normal API, we don't have to wait for the task to finish. Either way, we have some wait task function. I'm sure of that. Maybe wait for finished task. Okay, so we do something like this. Here. So task equals response JSON task. That looks good. Response wait for finished task. And Maybe let's put the breakpoint here just for the last time so we can see. Okay, okay, okay. Let's kill this, and this, and this, and this. Run again. While this is running, let's put to do and to do and to do also here. So basically, and to do here. So basically our code of this function is split into the phases that were described in the Pulp documentation. Prepare the upload, then upload the chunks, then commit everything, and then wait until the task finishes, the task that puts it all together finishes. So these distinct parts, we need to write documentation for each of those. What about our code? So, yep, we are at 402, which is... Oh, I'm sorry, I removed pieces of the code in while this was running, so our line numbers doesn't match anymore. But our response, pp response, should be, yep, finished task. There is some validation error. That is strange though. So the task failed? Or the task succeeded? It finished, definitely. href state failed. Okay, so our task failed. Do we have at other places validation of failed tasks? We have. We have. So we should probably do the same here. And response. So we have data JSON. We probably don't need to define the data like this. We can do just response JSON state and response OK. So we don't need this variable. And the error messages. So successfully uploaded, chunked, and the path to the file. So this was our OK case, and error failed to upload. Failed to, yeah, let's do failed to upload, chunked the path again, and let's log error the response as we did before. That makes sense. Return false, good. The return none can go away too. So I think this looks good. Now, why it failed? Why it failed? That's a good question. So the traceback is checksum did not match. So I'm thinking maybe we really fucked up that last byte of the of the uploaded of the last chunk, basically. So what I was saying here, the end, maybe for the last chunk there should not be the -1. So let's do an experiment. If we do end, yeah, by the way, let's put a debugger failed to, where is it? Here. Let's put debugger here so that we can work on it more easily. So the end one, let's not do the -1. And how do we know it's the last chunk? So if the length of the chunk does not equal the original size, which we removed the variable for, so let's just hard code this for the experiment, then if it equals actually, then it's not the last chunk, so we will do end minus, let's do end equals end -1. We could probably do -1 like this. Yeah, for +1s it's really clear. For -1s I'm not sure, maybe it's too cryptic. Whatever, let's do it. So another attempt. So what is our situation now? Bad request, where the strange thing is we did many uploads. We did many uploads. But it failed at the chunked upload. It bumped out completely else on a different place than I expected. So we are inside of create chunked content, which is 397, which is here. And what are we sending? We can probably put the debugger here, and that will be the last thing we will do. So let's kill this, run this again, and we can always check the headers if it has the numbers that we wanted to test. And if this is not the problem and the end was previously correct, then I have no idea why the SHA wouldn't match. We need to... Anyway, let's take a look. So, pp headers. Yes, this is as expected. Now, headers again. This is as expected. Again. again, PP headers. I think we have like 11 of those, right? So we will do this one by one. And this is definitely the last one. And maybe we found the error. Because we ended up here, and then instead of starting from 80,000, we started from 44,000, which is a nonsense, of course. So let's put this to bed, put this to rest actually for a second, and get back to our previous math and what was going on before. So we start length and the end so okay, so our math is not correct though, because we need to start at this, but the end, why would we calculate the end like this? It doesn't really make any sense. The end should be start plus the length of the chunk, right? Maybe -1. Maybe not, according to the previous one, maybe. So does this make more sense? And this is a length of the chunk, and this is not correct either. This is not correct either, because that's why we got this weird number. We actually need to do I times size here, I think. Which size we again fucked, because we don't have the variable for it now. So let's do this, or maybe let's do size equals this and do size so it looks better in the formula. Quit again. Okay. So where are we right now? 402 pulp. 402 breakpoint here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go through it very quickly. PP headers. Next. PP headers. What happened? I see all successful things. Anyway, Let's kill this. I don't want the breakpoint now. I don't want this one. And let's run this. A lot of successes. And what now? And error. Okay, non-type has no OK. We didn't return a value from somewhere. And the somewhere is this. We wanted to probably return we probably want the return here, return response, and here we will to-do erase an exception. I think this is what we want, but it looked promising because there was a problem with non-type, not false, and therefore it was this case and not this case, and therefore we probably uploaded successfully. So let's run it again and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Come on, come on, come on. Let's be successful. Oh, fucking hell. Bad request somewhere. But this is a later in the code. Check this out. This is querying the repositories and a lock when we do locks. We do locks when we create tasks, I think. When we run create repo. Yep, that's what I said. Create repository version actually does the error. So this is an unrelated problem. Unrelated, clearly it's a bit related, but it's not in either of these. It's later when creating the repository version. So I think this is a good place to stop this. I actually wanted the video to have an hour, and now we are at 150, so I'm thinking maybe splitting it in two. So we will stop it here. My next plan is to, of course, fix the error that we get and then test the file actually appears inside of the Pulp repositories, and then the file, which is a RPM package, can be installed from that Pulp repository. And if yes, maybe even run the tool. For example, if it's the hello package, run the hello command that it actually prints a hello world. Then we can be quite confident it works. But since we compare the SHA that we calculate and the SHA that Pulp calculates, I think it is fine. We don't have to worry too much. It wouldn't work. I think it will. We also need to clean up the code because there are some remaining stuff. Write the to-dos. Then we have this condition, if false, else. So we have to compare the file size here, and at some point do the check based on the file size, which will probably be something around 100 megabytes. So yeah, I think this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. 2 hours is quite a long time for me to work on something without a pause and to talk the whole time. So I will try to aim for 1 hour videos in the future. I still aimed for 1 hour video this time, but it didn't work out. And it's probably too long for you too. I don't know. Let me know if you prefer longer ones or if you prefer the 1 hour time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.